course, you can use these as well for just phonemic awareness, so building words using the sounds, even regardless of how young they are, whether they've transitioned into phase 2, into phonics. So if I was doing ship, the child will go ship, because they're using the monster routine. Ship, 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 shoot. So in phase 1, so that's weeks 1 and 2 of prep, people who are using the monster routine will be using that strategy with these. So they'll be building lots of words and what have you. But any child, you can do it with any child. So all they need to do is learn the monsters using the 2-minute monster video, learn the monster sounds, which they learn ridiculously quickly. And you can build any words. If you're working in learning support or any children, it's going to help them to develop their phonemic awareness. So even high level phonemic awareness. Okay, well, we've got ship. So you might say, don't look at it. Just close your eyes. Okay, ship. I'm going to change ship and I want to change it into chip. What have I got to change? Now, whether it helps them to look at it or whether we want them to close their eyes, I would love to see brain scans. But they would say, with good phonemic awareness, being able to manipulate and add and subtract, delete and what have you, they would say, I don't want the sh, I want the true end. I want the sh monster, because I'm changing ship into chip. Okay, so what do you want to do if you want this word to be chop? Chip, chip. I want chop, chop. Okay, so I'm going to go ch, or chop. Chop, chop. What if you want it to be flop? Chop, chop. Oh, that's a tricky one, Miss Emma. Look. I might have to go like this, because I'm going to go or up, flop. So let's have a look. Or up. Now you know what they're like. They'll want to go they want to do it in order. Some children will go foot or up. Or I know I've already got that, foot or up, flop, and they'll do that. Most of the children won't. It's like math. They have to go back to the beginning. So they'll go. Oh, flop. Look at that. And this is what's so exciting about the monsters. Originally, it was because I was trying to work out how to work with my non-verbal ASD kids. And if I want to know, right, like the word flop, I want to know that they can hear those sounds. Well, how am I going to know they can hear the sounds? Because we haven't done phonics yet, so they can't point to a grapheme and spell out the word. So flop. So this just means that I know that they can choose. Okay, even if they can't speak, if I say it or choose not to speak, might be elective mute, then I'm saying what sounds can you hear in flop. They can still do the routine and put the right sounds on there so that I can hear I know what they're hearing. Just the same as, you know, obviously it's the other way around is much easier. If I want to know that they know the word, then I can have, if I've got this out, I would have pictures and I would have something that's obviously flop. And if, you know, if I'm not sure about their understanding of the word, I would show them all the pictures and say, this is flop. Look, he's, you know, flopping onto, what does that mean, etc. So I said flop. So I would do this and then say, right, what is this word? And they can and point to it. They don't have to be able to speak, because what's going on in the brain can be completely detached from the physical mechanical action of, you know, of talking. So we want to make sure that we know what they're actually understanding. So many of you new to this are thinking, how on earth did they know the monsters, or what kind of order or whatever. The order is in the order they're going to learn the phonics: s, at, put, it, etc. So it's all logical. So s, at, p, I, n, g, j, etc. So it's in that order. So if you're a member in conductors.com, you can download the digital file of the monsters. So it's in the order, the explicit phonics teaching order: s, at, p, I, n, d, sorry, and I've missed out a line there. But you can print it off, and I do this with Velcro, so I can do Speedy 6, so that a child can, whilst I'm doing Speedy 6 on the board, the child can actually use the monsters to create their own words, what have you. This aligns obviously with the Speech Sound Monster Bank, which is my favourite resource of all time. Put the monster cards in it so that you've got the monster cards with all the choices. That's an old one, with all the choices on the back. So as you know, the ones on the outside are the ones that we're teaching explicitly. The ones on the inside are the ones that they're learning through Speedy 6, through their real writing. It's a lot of self-discovery as well. These are the ones on, so the outside, the high frequency ones. So this is like a dictionary. So people said somebody said to me the other day, do you teach all of those? So do you teach all of the spelling choices? Do you know, obviously we cover all the phonemes, but do you teach all the choices? I said, no, this is like a dictionary. You don't teach every word in the dictionary, but what we do is we cover the 44 or so phonemes. We cover the high frequency. So like here's that's a phonetic symbol, because a lot of children using this are English as a second language. They're being taught with teachers who are used to these symbols, or speech pathologists or whatever. The kids don't need to learn these, of course they don't, although they do, because brains are pretty amazing. But these are really prompts for speech pathologists, teachers who teach English as a second language, but also because I want teachers to understand what this means. This means it's just the sound, it's just the phoneme, it's just the phoneme. So on the back there are high frequency ones that we look at, like in touch and like in up, but they're all the choices. But no, we don't cover those explicitly, but the children need to have them available all the time so they can discover them. So we're not limiting them by our curriculum. But this, like I say, is just like a dictionary that you use it for children to have as a reference. You're not teaching every word in the dictionary. We're not explicitly teaching every spelling choice. So the digital download is a good resource, especially as well to create things like this, where the child can read it in monsters. Charlie, went, to, eat, chips, and it's segmented for the phonemes to graphemes. It's segmented like any systematic phonics program. You're going to segment it. These, of course, link with the IPA, because it's a phonetic symbol. So we could have had, if you're a speech pathologist or English as second language, so you understand the phonetic symbols, we could have had the phonetic symbols there, because it just represents the sound. But children aren't particularly excited by those, and that's why we use the monsters. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to let the children make the choices, so we can see their code knowledge, so they can read it in monsters. They know they know what it's supposed to be, the meaning, and then they're going to make the choices. So this is the other way around. This is more like a spelling. Yeah, this is spelling. Basically, it's an easier way for the brain to understand spelling. If you use a sort of spelling to reading approach, it's actually a lot better for the brain. But, I mean, we're teaching spelling and reading simultaneously, obviously, but what I'm saying is that this is really good, because it's not just like the traditional, there's a picture of Charlie going to eat chips, now write about it. Okay, well, I can only write about it with the structure I know, whether I've got the phonemic awareness, whether I understand how sentences are structured, whatever. So there's a lot that the children have to do themselves. That's why so many of them just keep writing the same words and whatever, because they know it. What we're doing here is we're saying, no, actually on this, I'm going to tell you that's what it is, because I want to see if you know those choices. So it means that the teacher can learn a lot from this. It doesn't mean they're not writing independent themselves, but I'm saying this is a really good exercise. And then, of course, they can draw it and what have you, or they could carry on. In the time, if they finished, Charlie went to eat chips, what happened next? Let them carry on. So they're doing like this with the mapping the phonemes to graphemes, and then they're writing it as they would do in a real book. But what I wanted to say was, people in the conductor's website who have these and have the digital file, if you could create these, we will put these as a bank in the conductor's course so that it's free. So you've already got Snap and Crack and things like that, and putting decodable readers, and we're putting all sorts in there, but these would be invaluable. So if you put them at code level obviously, because we have our 4 code levels, green, purple, yellow, blue, because we're systematically going through the code. Actually, I've put the code level on the back of the new Spelling Cloud key rings, just as a reminder. I know it's really tiny, you need a little magnifying glass, but just make sure you keep them at code level. So if you're going to do one like this. So this is yellow code level because we've got, actually blue code level because we've got R in it. So we want to have on here blue code level so the child knows. And you can just print them off and laminate them and just put them in a little pile. So the child, you can just say go and do some monster writing, and the child takes it out at their code level and is practicing using the graphemes that they're learning in a writing situation, as well as picking out the ones that are already done where they're reading it. So we're doing it both way round, encoding and decoding. If you're on the yellow code level, you're going to be choosing the high frequency which is that one. You're not going to be putting in here things like sugar, you know, with the S, because that's not the high frequency. When you're doing these, please do it as code level. So that's that high frequency graphemes. Anyway, let's have fun, guys. New year about to start in Australia. I'm really excited. Let's collect lots of data, lots of juicy data, and have fun with these children and get them reading, writing and spelling really, really quickly.